హలో. అయిందిలేండి. హలో, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ జాయిన్. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. All of you join. Only 39 students joined. What about other students?
They're joining soon.
Huh? Hello. Who is interacting? What is the name? Hello.
Sairam, sir.
Sairam. Are you preparing first assignment questions?
Yes, sir.
All of you complete the first assignment and submit.
Okay, sir.
And also, I am going to give second assignment also. Tomorrow I will give second assignment. All of you complete the assignments, first and second assignment, and submit whenever you come to the college.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yesterday, so we are discussing some problems on turbulent boundary layer. Turbulent boundary layer, boundary layer flow or fluid flow on a plate, and the flow may be laminar turbulent. So laminar problems are over. Yesterday, we have solved one problem on this turbulent flow, and second problem on this turbulent flow, I am giving the submarine by assuming it is cylindrical shape. That's why, so external flow on flat plates as well as cylinders. So if we complete this second problem, cylinder also will be completed. Only difference is calculation of surface area. In the case of flat plate, how do you calculate area? For a rectangular area, length into breadth, L into B. But in the case of cylinder, how do you calculate surface area? Circumference into length, pi dl, where d is the diameter, L is the length of the cylinder. Okay, na? So second problem on this turbulent flow condition. So all of you read the problem. A submarine can be assumed a submarine can be assumed to be cylindrical shape with a round nose. Generally, if you observe any submarine, at the nose, the round shape will be there. And throughout the length, just like it is shape of cylinder. That's why a submarine, if you go to the Vizag or anywhere, you can observe the submarines. The submarine model is available at the beach of Vizag. If anybody visited the Vizag, you can visit the beach and you can visualize the submarine. So submarine model is available at Vizag. So anyhow, theoretically, you can assume a submarine can be assumed to be cylindrical shape with a round nose, assuming its length to be 50 mm. What is the length of the submarine? That is cylinder 50 mm. Here you can assume it is a cylinder. So length of cylinder 50 meters. Length of cylinder 50 meters and diameter, so 5 meters, 5.0, 5 only. Diameter of the submarine 5 meters. Determine the total power required to overcome boundary friction. Whenever if you move the submarine in water or in the sea, it has to overcome the boundary friction. It has to overcome the friction developed by the boundary layer. That's why total power required to overcome boundary friction. If it cruises means if it is moving with a velocity of, if it is moving with a velocity at 8 meters per second in seawater at 20 degrees centigrade. So seawater temperature 20 degrees centigrade. At this 20 degrees centigrade, and the density of seawater, take density of seawater 1030 kg per meter cube, and kinematic viscosity 1 into 10 power minus 6 meter square per second. Okay, that is the problem. So for this, you have to calculate. Here, submarine has been given. So it is cylindrical shape. In cylindrical shape, that's why the length of the cylinder 50 meters and the diameter of the cylinder 5.0 meters, that is 5 meters. And the submarine is moving with a velocity 8 meters per second. Because it is moving in the water, that's a water velocity. You can take the U free stream 8 meters per second. So it is cruises at 8 meters per second velocity in seawater. That's why the velocity here 8 meters per second. And temperature of the seawater 20 degrees centigrade. And at 20 degrees centigrade seawater, the density of the seawater 1030 kg per meter cube. And kinematic viscosity nu 1 into 10 power minus 6 meter square per second. 1 into 10 power minus 6 meter square per second. Okay, na? That is given data. So length of the cylinder or submarine 50 meters, diameter D 5 meters, velocity 8 meters per second, density 1030 kg per meter cube, kinematic viscosity 1 into 10 power minus 6 meter square per second. Meter square per second. Kinematic viscosity units meter square per second. So Reynolds number REL. How do you calculate Reynolds number? If you know the kinematic viscosity, Reynolds number REL is equal to, so velocity into length L, U free stream into L divided by kinematic viscosity. Velocity into length divided by kinematic viscosity. That is velocity into L divided by nu, Greek letter nu, that is kinematic viscosity. So that is equal to velocity 8 into, so length of the submarine 50 meters into 50 divided by kinematic viscosity 1 into 10 power minus 6. That's why by 1 into 10 power minus 6. If you calculate the Reynolds number for this given condition, that is 4 into 10 power 8. Obviously, it is greater than 4 into 10 power 8. Obviously, it is greater than 5 into 10 power 5, 5 lakhs. So then, so you'll be knowing that it is a turbulent flow. So for turbulent flow, in order to calculate power to overcome the friction, first you have to calculate drag force, frictional force. For that you require skin friction coefficient, average skin friction coefficient. That's why first we'll calculate average skin friction coefficient. Okay, now all of you listen carefully. In order to calculate power, total power required to overcome the friction, boundary friction, so you have to calculate for that shear force or drag force. For that you have to calculate, how do you calculate shear force, drag force, shear stress tau into area. But how do you calculate shear stress? That is from the basics derivations, Cf bar into rho into velocity square divided by 2. Cf bar into rho into velocity square divided by 2. Cf bar, that is average skin friction coefficient. So that's why first you have to calculate average skin friction coefficient, Cf bar. That is equal to, for the given Reynolds number, yesterday given for a range of Reynolds number, there are two formulas that are being used for calculation of CF bar, average skin friction coefficient. So from that available two formula, the formula that will be used or that can be used for this condition, CF bar is equal to 0.455 divided by log REL to the base 10 whole to the power 2.58. So this has to be taken. So from yesterday given this formula, that is to be taken from the tables, or you have to remember. That's all. Only two options. You have to remember the formula, or sometimes some formula may be available for different flows, for laminar flow as well as turbulent flow, for a flat plate, for a cylinder. Some formula may be available in the heat transfer data book. So here, how do you calculate average skin friction coefficient? CF bar is equal to 0.455 divided by log REL to the base 10 whole to the power 2.58. So that is equal to 0.455 divided by log into REL, that is 4 into 10 power 8, already calculated, to the base 10 whole to the power 2.58. If we simplify this one, and CF bar will be coming at a value of 0.001765. Okay, na? That is the CF bar value. And next, here, while calculating frictional drag force, you require shear stress into area, surface area. So calculate surface area. How do you calculate surface area of the cylinder? Because here the submarine is in cylindrical shape. That's why surface area pi dl, that's equal to pi into diameter of this one cylinder 5 meters into L 50 meters. So pi d 5 meters into L 50. So that's why surface area will be coming at a value of 785.4 meters square. 785.4 meters square. So that is a surface area. Once you know the surface area, how do you calculate drag force? FD, drag force, shear force or drag force. Here drag force means shear force. How do you calculate shear force? Shear stress into area, surface area. But shear stress, how do you calculate shear stress? So from the already given in the earlier classes, CF bar into rho u free stream square divided by 2. So sometimes I have used CFX, sometimes CF bar, but on average, suppose because so average value to be taken. That's why tau naught is equal to CF bar into rho e free stream square divided by 2 into surface area. Already you have calculated 785.4. Substitute the CF bar value. We have calculated CF bar value as 0.001765. That's why, so drag force FD is equal to CF bar 0.001765 into density 1030 into velocity given as 8 meters per second. So velocity u square 8 square divided by 2 into this area, surface area 785.4. If you calculate drag force, FD is equal to 45,690.2 newtons. Drag force is equal to 45,690.2 newtons. The drag force 45,690.2 newtons. So This much drag force is coming on the whenever the submarine is moving on in the seawater. If submarine is moving in a seawater, so shear force or drag force. If you want the submarine move in the forward direction, so this much of force is acting in the opposite direction, drag. So the in order to move the submarine in the seawater, it has to overcome this much of force, shear force or drag force. That's why how much power is required to overcome this force, this much of force, this much of shear force or drag force. Because if you want to move the submarine in the one direction, forward direction, for example, this shear force is acting in the opposite direction. That's why in order to move the submarine in the opposite direction, in the forward direction, otherwise in the positive direction, so it has to overcome this much of force. That's why to overcome this force, how much power is required? So that is to be calculated. Very, very important. So in the final exam, we got these type of problems. So external flows on flat plate. This problem comes on external flow on cylinder. Only difference is surface area calculation. That's all. So hence total power required to overcome the boundary friction. How do you calculate power? Work done per second. But how do you calculate work done? Force into distance by time. Work done, force into distance. Power, force into distance by time. So total power required to overcome the boundary friction. That is force into distance by time. That is equal to force into distance by time velocity. That's why to overcome this much of force, how much power is required for the submarine to move forward? To move forward, how much power is required for the submarine? So that is force into velocity. The force into distance by time. That is work done per second, the power. Work done per second or work done divided by time. Work done, how do you calculate? Force into distance. And power, force into distance by time. Force into distance by time is velocity. That's why force into velocity. So that's why power is equal to force into velocity. What is the force? How much this submarine has to move, overcome this force? 45,690.2 newtons. That's why force is 45,690.2 newtons into velocity 8 meters per second. That's much of so power. That will be in watts. Generally, if you multiply 45,690.2 into 8, that will be value will be very, very high. So to have a smaller value, you have to convert this watts into kilowatts. Convert the watts into kilowatt. That's why you have to divide with 1000. That's why 45,690.2 into 8 divided by 1000. The value that will be coming finally power in kilowatts. Kilowatts. K small letter, W capital letter, kilowatts. So that's why power required to overcome the boundary friction for this submarine to move forward. To move forward, that is 365.52 kilowatts. 365.52 kilowatts. Okay, na? Like that, so you can solve any type of problem under the external flows. So your fourth unit consists of 3 topics: fluid flow and external flows, convection on external flows, convection, forced convection through internal flows, and convection on a vertical flat plate. There are 3 topics. So we are in the first topic, external flows. External flows, so almost completed. Now in this, the one, so in the some exams is asking what is Reynolds analogy, what is Colburn analogy. In the textbooks, if you read the textbooks, you may observe what is Reynolds analogy, what is Colburn's. So Colbur, Colburn. What is Reynolds analogy? What is What is Reynolds analogy? What is Colburn's analogy? So Reynolds analogy. First we'll discuss what is Reynolds analogy in this convection. Or convection in this heat transfer otherwise. So Reynolds analogy is the interrelationship between heat transfer and Newton's law of viscosity. So Reynolds analogy is the interrelation between heat transfer and Newton's law of viscosity. What is Newton's law of viscosity? Shear stress tau is equal to mu into du by dy, where tau is the shear stress, mu is the dynamic viscosity, du by dy, variation of velocity with respect to y direction. That's why the Reynolds interrelationship between heat transfer and Newton's law of viscosity. So Newton's law of viscosity, this is the Newton's law of viscosity. What is heat transfer? There will be conduction heat transfer and convection heat transfer. So conduction heat transfer. So Fourier's equation, Fourier's law of heat conduction, Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dy. This is Fourier's law of heat conduction. Heat transfer rate Q is equal to minus K, thermal conductivity of material, A, normal area, dt by dy, variation of temperature, dt, variation of temperature, dy, thickness. So this is conduction equation, Fourier's law of heat conduction. And mu Cp by 1 is Prandtl number, that is with respect to convection, Prandtl number, mu Cp. How do you calculate Prandtl number? Mu into Cp by K, mu, dynamic viscosity, Cp, specific heat, K, what is K? Thermal conductivity. So mu Cp by 1 is the, mu Cp by K, mu into Cp by K, Prandtl number. So when this Prandtl number becomes 1, so when Prandtl number is unity, when the temperature and velocity profiles are identical, already given while discussing temperature profile in the convection, I have given Prandtl number importance of Prandtl number, and also how do you calculate Prandtl number? How do you calculate Prandtl number? Mu into Cp by K. When this Prandtl number becomes 1, when the temperature and velocity profiles are identical, the Prandtl number is equal to 1. That is mu, how do you calculate Prandtl number? Mu into Cp by K is equal to 1. That's why, so to have the relationship between heat transfer, that is conduction equation and the convection equation, this is heat transfer, with the Newton's law of viscosity, then you can get the one analogy. That analogy is known as Reynolds analogy. What is Reynolds analogy? Reynolds analogy is the relationship between heat transfer and Newton's law of viscosity. Heat transfer, that is conduction heat transfer, convection heat transfer. Okay na? Here Newton's law of viscosity, shear stress tau is equal to mu into du by dy. So shear stress mu, dynamic viscosity, du by dy, variation of velocity in the y direction. From this dy is equal to, from this equation implies dy is equal to, this dy is equal to mu into du by tau naught. Dy, from this relation, dy is equal to mu into du by tau naught, where mu is the dynamic viscosity, d is the variation of velocity, tau naught is the shear stress, dy is in the y direction, small distance in the y direction. That is equation number 1. Next, equation number 2, Fourier's law of heat conduction. That Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dy. Q is the heat transfer rate, minus K, thermal conductivity material, A, normal area, and dt, difference of temperature, dy, thickness of the material. And that is equation number 2. And equation number 3, that is mu Cp by K is equal to 1. That is from the convection heat transfer. The Prandtl number, it can be calculated in mu Cp by K. Prandtl number can be calculated by using the formula mu Cp by K. That's why sometimes, so when the temperature and velocity profiles are equal, then mu Cp by K is equal to, Prandtl number is equal to 1. Otherwise, mu Cp by K is equal to 1. So from this, so K by mu, from this relation, what is K by mu value? K by mu value is equal to Cp. Mu Cp by K is equal to 1. From that relation, K by mu is equal to Cp. That is equation number 3. So equation number 1, dy is equal to mu into du by dy, mu into du by tau naught. Dy is equal to mu into du by tau naught. Equation number 1. And equation number 2, q is equal to minus Ka dt by dy. And equation number 3, K by mu is equal to Cp. By combining equation 1, 2 and 3, by combining equation 1, 2 and 3. For example, take the equation 2. What is equation 2? Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dy. Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dy. Therefore, Q is equal to minus Ka into dt. But dy value, what is dy value? Mu into du by tau naught. That's why, so minus Ka dt by dy value, mu into mu into du by tau naught. This by tau naught, in this tau naught you can take top. That's why finally Q is equal to minus Ka dt into tau naught divided by mu into du. All of you listen very carefully. Observe this equation. So I'm repeating, Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dy. Therefore, Q is equal to minus Ka into dt by dy. But what is dy value? Dy is equal to mu into du by tau naught. That's why dy is equal to mu into du by tau naught. I'm taking tau naught into the top. That's why, therefore, Q is equal to, it translated Q is equal to minus K into A into dt into tau naught by mu into du. So from this, therefore, Q is equal to, but what is minus K by mu? K by mu Cp. That's why, therefore, Q is equal to minus K by mu Cp, minus Cp into A into tau naught into dt by du. Into dt by du. So what are the variables here? There are two variables, temperature and velocity. Separate the variables because, so velocity is varying on the flat plate or any given configuration device from u is equal to u0 to u is equal to 0 to u is equal to u free stream. And temperature is varying from surface temperature to free stream temperature. That's why separate the variables here. So therefore Q divided by Cp into A into tau naught into du from this relation, Q by Cp into A into tau naught into du is equal to minus dt. The left over term on the right hand side, minus dt. So what are the variables here? Velocity. And here, right hand side, temperature. That's why to have the integral values or total values, you have to integrate. So Q by Cp into A into tau naught, integral 0 to u free stream, integral 0 to u free stream du is equal to minus integral Ts to T free stream dt. Integral Ts to T free stream dt. So Q by Cp into A into tau naught into u free stream. If you integrate integral du, that is u. So if you substitute the 0 and u free stream, then finally upper limit u free stream, that will be there only. That's why Q by Cp into A into tau naught into u free stream is equal to minus integral dt. What is T? T only. And substitute the limits Ts to T free stream. That's why this minus T free stream minus Ts. Minus T free stream minus Ts. After integration, after substituting the limits, that is T free stream minus Ts. But minus sign is there. That's why minus into T free stream minus Ts. That is equal to, if you remove this minus sign, then this becomes Ts minus T free stream. Therefore, finally, Q by Cp into A into tau naught into U free stream is equal to Ts minus T free stream. Or in other words, Q by area into Ts minus T free stream. You take this Ts minus T free stream, left hand side. So Q by area into Ts minus T free stream is equal to tau naught into Cp. You take the tau naught into Cp to the right hand side. Tau naught into Cp. You take this E free stream in the right hand side. That's why that's why this is equal to tau naught into Cp divided by U free stream. Okay, now finally, after integration, after substituting limits, finally the equation becomes Q by area into Ts minus T free stream is equal to tau naught into Cp divided by U free stream. But what is Q by area into Ts minus T free stream? How do you calculate convection heat transfer? Q is equal to HA delta T. Q is equal to HA delta T. H into convective heat transfer coefficient. That's why here from this Q is equal to HA delta T. From the Hx, if you take local Hx. So Q is equal to Hx delta T. Otherwise, Q is equal to Hx into area into Ts minus T free stream. From that, Hx, what about this value? Q by area into Ts minus T free stream. Q by area into Ts minus T free stream is equal to Hx. Convective heat transfer coefficient. Local convective heat transfer coefficient. And but how do you calculate tau naught? Cfx into already given in the earlier classes. Tau or tau naught. Tau is equal to Cfx into half rho E free stream square. So substitute this here in this equation. Substitute the value of this value Hx and tau naught value in this equation. Therefore, this value Hx. Therefore, Hx is equal to tau naught value Cfx into half into rho E free stream square into Cp divided by U free stream. Therefore, Hx is equal to Cfx by 2 U free stream square. One U free stream will be there. So cancel or strike it off. One U free stream square. That's why rho into U free stream square. Yes, U free stream square divided by U free stream. Then only U free stream. That's why rho into U free stream into Cp. Or otherwise Cfx by 2 into rho into Cp into U free stream. So from this relation, Hx by rho into Cp into U free stream. Again, I am taking this rho into Cp into U free stream to the left hand side. Hx by rho into Cp into U free stream is equal to Cfx by 2. Hx by rho into Cp into U free stream is equal to Cfx by 2. So this is in dimensionless form. And this dimensionless form. So this is dimensionless coefficient. This is also dimensionless form. So left hand side Hx by rho Cp into U free stream is called Stanton number St at a given value of x. Stx. Stanton number. Left hand side Hx by rho Cp into U free stream is called Stanton number. And again right hand side Cfx by 2, that is local skin friction coefficient divided by 2. This is also dimensional form. So left hand side dimensional form is called, that is Stanton number, Stanton Stx. So that is Hx into Hx divided by rho Cp into U free stream is equal to Cfx by 2. That is this Hx by rho Cp U free stream is Stanton number. Okay, now you multiply with x and divide with x. This here left hand side. Multiply with x, divide with x. And in the denominator. So here, numerator and denominator, here you in the numerator multiply with x and divide with x. In the denominator and multiply with k into mu, divide with k into mu. Multiply with k into mu, divide with k into mu. So that is equal to again Cfx by 2. That is Stanton number. But if you Hx by Hx into x by k, what is Hx into HL by k or Hx by k, H into x by k, that is Nusselt's number at a given value of x. That's why nu x, Nusselt's number, divided by rho into velocity into x by mu, rho into velocity into x by mu, that is Reynolds number Rex. Again, so mu into Cp by K. What is my mu into Cp by K, mu Cp by K? That is Prandtl number. That's why you can rewrite this one, Stanton number, as NUX divided by REX into Prandtl number. That is Stanton number. That's why that is equal to, again, CFX by 2 is equal to Stanton number. Stanton number. That's why the relation between Nusselt number, Reynolds number, Prandtl number, Stanton number, all are in dimensionless form. So with all are in dimensionless form, so it is easy to arrive the relationship between different parameters. That's why this relation NUX by REX into Prandtl number is equal to Stanton number. That is equal to CFX by 2. This is known as the above equation, that is NUX by REX into Prandtl number is equal to Stanton number at a given value of x. This relation is called, the above equation is called Reynolds analogy. This analogy is called Reynolds analogy. You are analyzing the Nusselt number, Reynolds number, Prandtl number with Stanton number. So one value of Stanton number, that is hx by h by rho Cp into E free stream. That is one calculation or one equation. Other equation, Stanton number, you can write as Nusselt number by Reynolds number into Prandtl number. So this analogy, the relation between Nusselt number, Reynolds number, Prandtl number, and Stanton number, this analogy is known as the above equation. This equation is called Reynolds analogy. Reynolds analogy. Okay, using the Reynolds analogy, we can infer heat transfer data from shear stress management. Shear stress management. Here heat transfer, REX, here CFX, skin friction coefficient, there shear stress will be there. That's why you can infer heat transfer data from shear stress measurement. Shear stress measurement. Shear stress measurement. By measuring the shear stress, you can infer the heat transfer data. That's why physical significance of Stanton number is, Stanton number is equal to, you can write this Hx into delta T divided by rho into Cp into E free stream, rho into C into E free. So you multiply with delta T, divide with delta T. Both are same. So Hx in delta T per unit area, HA delta T, that is actual heat flux. Per unit area, actual heat flux to the fluid. This much of flux you are giving to the fluid. Then this is rho Cp into U into delta T, that is M into C into delta T per unit area. Density into volume flow rate, the mass flow rate. E free stream into area 1. Velocity into 1, that is volume flow rate, into density, mass flow rate. M into C delta T, again heat flux. Heat flux capacity of the fluid flow. That's why Stanton number is ratio of actual heat flux to the fluid, how much heat flux, actual flux you are giving to the fluid. With that heat flux, so how the fluid is moving, heat flux capacity of the fluid flow. That's why physical significance of Stanton number, a ratio of actual heat flux to the fluid divided to the heat flux capacity of the fluid flow. That's about Reynolds analogy. Now there is small analogy. One more analogy. It takes only 5 minutes, don't worry. So Reynolds analogy sometimes is also very important. You will get what is Reynolds analogy? 7 marks. Next, what is next? Colburn analogy. Colburn analogy. So Reynolds, the name of the person, initially developed. That's why the Reynolds analogy. And after that, the heat transfer analysis given by Colburn, and that is known as Colburn analogy. Okay, what is Colburn analogy? Now we'll see. Colburn, Colburn, Colburn analogy. So further, in the case of laminar boundary layer on a flat plate, if you take a laminar boundary layer on a flat plate, we have, how do we calculate Nusselt number at any given value of x? NUX, Nusselt number. How do you calculate Hx into x by k? Hx into x by k. HL by k or Hx by k, Nusselt number. But how do you calculate Nusselt number? NUX, that is equal to 0.332 into Rex to the whole to the power 1 by 2 into Prandtl number whole to the power 1 by 3. So local Nusselt number Nux is equal to Hx into x by k. So that is Nusselt number. How do you calculate Nusselt number? At any given value of x, that is local Nusselt number. Hx, local convective transfer coefficient. So Nux is equal to 0.332 into Re to the power 1 by 2. From the formula, already we have derived this equation. 0.332 into Rex all to the power 1 by 2 into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. So dividing both sides, Nux, this one. Dividing both sides by Rex into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. Dividing both sides by Rex into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. We get, if we divide this with Rex into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3, then this becomes, left hand side becomes Nux by Rex into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3 is equal to, and 0.332 divided by, if you divide this one, divide by Rex into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. Then Prandtl number to the 1 by 3, Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3 get cancelled. Rex to the power 1 by 2 divided by Rex. That is square root of Rex divided by Rex. Then that's why square root of Rex. Rex to the power 1 by 2, what is the square root of Rex? Divided by Rex. So that's why 0.33 divided by, so square root of Rex divided by Rex. Then that is equal to 0.33 divided by, so square root of Rex. But what is square root of Rex? Rex to the power 1 by 2. Okay na? So Nux divided by Rex to the into Rex into Prandtl number to the 1 by 3 is equal to 0.332 divided by, so if you divide this Rex into to the power 1 by 2 into Prandtl number to the 1 by 3 divided by Rex into Prandtl number to the 1 by 3, then the Rex Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3 divided by Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3, that get cancelled. Here Rex to the power 1 by 2 divided by Rex. But what is Rex? Square root of Rex divided by Rex. Square root of Rex divided by Rex, then that is 1 by square root of Rex. That's constant, 0.332 divided by square root of Rex. But what is the square root of Rex? That Rex to the power 1 by 2. That's why finally, after simplification, Nux divided by Rex into Prandtl number to the 1 by 3 is equal to 0.332 divided by Rex to the power 1 by 2, or 0.332 divided by square root of Rex. But what is, how do you calculate local skin friction coefficient CFX? Local skin friction coefficient CFX, how do you calculate? Already given formula, CFX is equal to 0.664 divided by square root of Rex. That's why 0.332 divided by square root of Rex can be written as CFX by 2. You can write this one also as CFX by 2. That's why finally, this way the relation Nux divided by Rex into Prandtl number to the 1 by 3 is equal to 0.332 divided by square root of Rex, that is equal to CFX by 2. So from this, and Nux divided by Rex into Prandtl number to the 1 by 3 is equal to, this can be written as like this. That is Nux divided by Rex into Prandtl number in the denominator into Prandtl number to the 2 by 3. You can write like this. Prandtl here Prandtl number to the 1 by 3. This can be written as PR by PR to the power minus 2 by 3. So you can take PR to the power minus 2 by 3 to the top. That's why finally you can write this. You can write this as Nux into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3 divided by Rex into Prandtl number. Okay, now if you simplify this one, Prandtl number. If you simplify this one, you can write this one, this left hand side as NUX into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3 divided by REX into Prandtl number. That is equal to, but what is NUX by REX into Prandtl number? What is that one? Here, NUX by REX into Prandtl number, that is Stanton number. That's why, so this you can write as Stanton number. This left-hand side, this is left-hand side only complete. Left-hand side can be written as this one, Stanton number at a given value of x, STX into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3. So that is, therefore, left-hand side is equal to Stanton number. Therefore, Stanton number into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3. Stanton number into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3. Left-hand side. That is equal to what is right-hand side? CFX by 2. That's why finally, Stanton number into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3 is equal to CFX by 2, which is interrelation between heat and momentum transfer. So this equation has been designated as Kalban analogy. Stanton number into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3 is equal to CFX by 2. That is, this equation has been designated as Kalban analogy. But what is Reynolds analogy? So Stanton number is equal to CFX by 2. Here, so Stanton number into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3 is equal to CFX by 2. That is Kalban analogy. Oh, okay. For Prandtl number is equal to 1. What about Kalban analogy? So then Stanton number is equal to CFX by 2. That's why when for Prandtl number is equal to 1, so Reynolds analogy is equal to Kalban analogy. That's why finally, what is Kalban analogy? Stanton number into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3 is equal to CFX by 2, where ST is the Stanton number. How do you calculate Stanton number? Nusselt number divided by Reynolds number into Prandtl number. Into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3 is equal to CFX by 2. This is Kalban analogy. This equation has been designated as Kalban analogy. Okay, na? So when Prandtl number is equal to 1, both are equal. Reynolds analogy is equal to Kalban analogy. For Prandtl number is equal to 1, Reynolds analogy is equal to Kalban analogy. Here CFX by 2. Here also CFX by 2. Only difference is here you have multiplied with Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3. Stanton number into Prandtl number to the power 2 by 3. Your CFX by 2. So this equation has been designated as Kalban analogy. Okay, na? So Reynolds analogy and Kalban analogy. So that's all for today. Any doubt? That's all for today. Today we discuss two important topics. One is Reynolds analogy and second one is Kalban's analogy. Very, very important. Okay. That's all for today. I'm closing the session.